Updates from the Accra International Conference Center, where what's happening there is the laying in state of the body of the former president, Jerry John Rawlings. As you know, it's day 3 of the funeral rites for the late former president, and Metro News team at the Accra International Conference Center caught up with some members of parliament who filed past the mortal remains. So we can cross over for the interviews, some of whom are sharing their fond memories of the late J.J. Rawlings,
which is mandatory.
There were difficulties, and then his own beginnings were difficult. The bushfires, the drought, the deportation of Ghanaians, and the fact that they were determined to introduce a new culture of socialism in the country, and they determined to stamp the authority of socialism in the administration. Those were difficult days for us as a nation. Then he had to make a U-turn to really partner the IMF and the World Bank to reposition this country. There were difficult moments. Justice Annan described the immediate period when he assumed office as the blood and thunder days. People got missing, people were summarily tried and executed, and so on. They were not happy moments, but into the administration, things changed, especially with the partnership with the IMF, and there was a U-turn in the administration, and that salvaged this country and repositioned Ghana. And then, 11 years on, we then had elections that transformed us into the Fourth Republic, which he then became the first president of. So if you're talking about the Fourth Republic, the foundation father was Rawlings. As I said, initial stages, there were difficulties and challenges in his own administration, and the administration was a tough nut. A lot of hard decisions were taken, and if you love freedom, you will not cherish the beginnings of Rawlings, because human freedoms and rights were trampled on. But later, I think he learned lessons and then made a U-turn and repositioned this country. And that's what we are seeing today. And so let's all pray that God gives him eternal rest.
Been named after him. He said he wanted to be remembered in the hearts of people and not on monuments. Therefore, we should do what honors his legacy. I believe that our first commitment as a people and resolve should be an unwavering commitment to preserve our democracy, its ethos and values, built on the fundamental principles of probity, justice and accountability as part of our political consciousness. Corruption is still an integral and important aspect of our national public life. Regrettably and unfortunately, he had to exact the greatest punishment in his quest to fight corruption. We need to do more. Presidents and government must demonstrate will beyond legislations to punish persons who loot the state or who take state resources to their personal advantage. And we should be guided by service to the sovereign, the people of Ghana. As I watch him lie helplessly as former president, I'm minded that accountability is not only to the people of Ghana, but to the God we worship. So in the things that we do, we always must be reminded that someday, there is a last day to which we will account to God, including our deeds and conduct, or call it misconduct, even in public office, and not to be deceived by the perks of political power. So remember that someday you lie helpless just as he is here. My consolation is in the fact that President Rawlings had the unique opportunity to bury the mother, and after that, he himself is going to join her. May his soul rest in perfect peace. But to the NDC, I take pride in the fact that he has birthed a major political force in Ghana's democratic history. He has preserved and safeguarded the longest ever democratic stability of our country. We must make a resolve to preserve it and not to fracture it as we are witnessing now. And at all times to respect the will of the Ghanaian people. As for probity, justice, and accountability, it must remain non-negotiable values for every person aspiring into public life. My heart warms with the performance of the NDC in the 2020 presidential and parliamentary elections, because notwithstanding the demise of Jerry Rawlings, our founder, the party fared well, and performed better than the ruling government, notwithstanding the resources they dissipated. Anyway, today we are mourning. Someday I'll take you through why we have no money.
And that's Eugenia Kumi bringing us those interviews with the MPs.